If we start the season now, then I am happy, says Amorim in his first pre-season press conference. Yes, people, Amorim has spoken, and we have the most important Amorim quotes from his pre-season press conference for the match against West Ham. Sorry. We have his interview, and we will go through the most important quotes in his interview. The manager has finally spoken, and apparently he is happy with the squad. Yes, guys, smash the like, turn on your notifications, and subscribe. Welcome to the channel Chosen Wisdom Football. I hope everybody is having a blessed day. It is Friday. The sun is out here in the UK. Everyone is feeling good, and there is a lot of news for us to go through today. So you are in the best place right now possible to find out all the most important Manchester United news today. So we have the Amorim quotes to go through. We have Ben Jacobs, who's come out and he's more or less squashed any possibility for Isak to Manchester United. Isak has said that he wants Liverpool. He has now said that apparently, so it does look like Isak potentially will be going to Liverpool. We will talk about that today. Sky Sports are reporting that Luke Shaw might be for sale. Yes, guys, this might be Christmas coming early for a lot of fans. Is that true, though? We will talk about it. The goalkeeper saga, people. The goalkeeper saga is hotting up. We have Lemens updates. Yes, we have updates on Lemens, who is a goalkeeper that we are looking at. We also have updates on Andre Onana. And we have confirmation that Aston Villa rejected Man United's approach for Emi Martinez. Aston Villa rejected Man United's approach for a loan for Emi Martinez. We will talk about it. We also today have Mason Mount quotes. Mason Mount is speaking. I don't know why, but he is speaking, and we have quotes from him for us to mull over. We also have confirmation that there is a League 2 team that will make money from Mbumo. Yes, the sell-on clause apparently is there. There's a League 2 French team that will make money from the Mbumo sell. Also, there's news, guys. There is news that we have apparently rejected an offer for Harry Maguire from Burnley. What we are doing, rejecting offers for Harry Maguire, I do not know, but this is scary if we've done this. There are also updates, people, on the outgoings, and we have 5 players who we want to sell. We know who they are. One of them has already gone on loan. So we have a few updates on the outgoings as well on the show. Hopefully this will be a packed show, guys. An absolutely packed show. Amorim interview quotes, Ben Jacobs, Isak quotes, Isak updates, Sky Sports reporting on Luke Shaw being for sale, the goalkeeper saga hotting up, Mason Mount quotes. There's a lot for us to get through, so smash the like, people. As usual, I hope the chat is feeling good. I hope everybody is blessed, man, on a beautiful Friday. So let's get straight into it, people. On your screen, as you can see, I'm going to go through the main talking points really from the press conference today with Amorim. And one of the things that came out in the press conference, I'm pretty sure that you guys have watched it. If you haven't watched it, I can paraphrase or give you an idea of what the press conference was about. But essentially, Amorim is content with how the squad is shaping up, and nothing imminent is expected on the striker front. United's plans for that position were kiboshed when Liam Delap opted to join Chelsea in May. Now, I watched the interview and it was asked of Amorim if he was content with the squad. And he said, I'm happy to start the season with this squad. Now, the way he answered the question, he started shaking his head while saying he is happy. So something tells me, even though the quote is, yes, he is happy to start the season with this squad, I don't fully believe that. I don't fully believe he means that. And I know in an ideal world, this manager would want more players in. That is clear. But what is also important for us to understand on this channel, and I'm pretty sure most of you understand, there is a game that needs to be played with the media. You cannot tell the media the truth all the time. You cannot, as a manager, come out and say, I'm not happy with this squad. Maybe some of you think you can, and maybe you can, but I understand why the manager would want to make his current players feel good and feel secure and say, yes, I'm happy with the squad. I understand why you wouldn't come out and say, I'm not happy with the squad, I want more players. So the fee for those players that you want go up. So there is a game to be played here, but nonetheless, it is quite interesting and still you can argue worrying if he means it and if he's telling the truth that he's happy with the current squad. Now, let's say that he is telling the truth and he does mean it. Then this manager has walked into a team halfway into a season, knowing exactly what he's getting into, and he failed, finished 15th. Now he's saying he's happy with the players that he has. So that being said, if he fails again, after saying he's happy, then this is entirely on the manager. But I don't think he means that he's happy with the squad. I don't think he's telling the truth there. And that's the thing. That's the thing, guys. So let me know what you guys think of that quote. I thought that quote was very, very interesting. Like I said, games have to be played when talking to the media. It's a balancing act that has to happen. I don't like liars, but unfortunately in this life, in some cases you kind of have to lie. You know? Big up British Bulldog in the chat already. Turkish in the chat. Big up yourself, people. Milton is here. Yeah. British Bulldog saying Amorim is chatting. I support his manager, but he said not to 100 mil for number 10, who we use as number 8. Spent all the money on 2. British Bulldog, I'm not gonna lie, bro. When I heard some of the quotes, when I heard the interview, I got a bit annoyed, bro. I got a bit annoyed with some of the things he was saying. He traumatized me last year, this manager, and he's back now and he's saying certain things that I have to take with a pinch of salt. I have to be like, is he saying this just for the media? I have to sort of do that sort of mental gymnastics. Because if I don't and take everything he's saying at face value, do you know what I'm saying? I want to shake this manager. But Milton, I agree with Milton. The press conference is never about the truth, more about wishful thinking. Yeah. So here's another quote which scared me. This frightened me out of my clothes. Pause. This is Ruben Amorim on Luke Shaw when he was asked about Luke Shaw, guys. He is a world-class player. You can feel in the small things. He's a great player, but he has competition this season. When he started talking up Luke Shaw, people, my heart sunk. My heart sunk. I was like, no, I do not want to see. Why does everyone love this guy? What does he sprinkle? He must walk around here with some sort of dust. Luke Shaw, every time a manager comes in, he has a little pixie dust in his little sachet or whatever, and he gets it and he goes, and then he sprinkles it on the manager. The manager's like, Luke Shaw. Like, I don't get it. But we're going to talk about Luke Shaw later on because apparently, according to Sky Sports, Shaw might be up for sale. So is this games from the manager? Is he talking Luke Shaw up because he wants him out? I don't know. I don't know. This guy's supposed to be good with his mouth. He's supposed to be the poet, Sometimes I want to punch him in his mouth. But this is very interesting. It scared me because I do not believe Luke Shaw should be anywhere near the first team. Anywhere. He started the first preseason game. Luke Shaw, when he became fit later on in the season, the last 5 games of the season, he played. He played in all of those games. So I'm frightened, guys. I'm absolutely terrified. Big up yourself, Milton, man. Big up yourself, Milton. British Bulldog said, when I spend all the money down Aldi on cookies and cake, I get slapped for not buying meat. British Bulldog, bro. Hey, so I don't know what you guys think about these sort of these 2 quotes especially. He did an interview with Cunha, and Cunha was asked the typical questions. Why did you choose Manchester United? And he said all the right things. I love this club. It was an easy choice. Also, I came to play for the manager. All of these things. So the questions put to Cunha were very straightforward, very easy for Cunha to answer. Do you want to play in multiple positions? And are you saying I play wherever the manager wants me to play? And the manager was saying that Cunha can play in multiple positions. The manager was also saying that Xerxes can play. Xerxes and Hoyland, he wants to see if they can form a relationship with Cunha and Mbumo. So we had that kind of talk as well. He spoke up Mbumo. He mentioned Joshua. He spoke about people playing in multiple positions. He also said there are places, competition for places, which he really, really, really wants. He really wants competition for places. So players essentially stay on their toes. Stay on their toes. More quotes from Ruben Amorim on your screen, people. Really, please. It's important to sign players as soon as possible. So this is him talking about the new arrivals, people. They've proved already in the Premier League. Mateus can play in different positions. You can change the starting 11. So, just as I said, waxing lyrical about the new signings, saying how important it is to get new arrivals in, while at the same time acknowledging the fact that it's not always possible to get new arrivals in before the start of pre-season. It's not always possible. So he also understands that and acknowledges that. Also he clearly spoken about different positions. Maybe we might see different systems because he's very rigid. He's very fixed on this one system that he plays. I want to see more flexibility in the system from this manager next year. So as you guys can see, certain quotes that really stuck out for me, I think we need to talk about. Yeah, I've already said this already, but Ruben Amorim already said we need to be really careful when we sign players. So this is about whether he wants more signings or not and where he sees the squad. He is essentially saying here in this quote that we don't want to just sign any player and then have to sell them again in a year or 2. We need to be very careful and very precise and specific now with the players that we buy. He'd rather start, and this is where the first quote about starting the season and if you're happy. He's essentially saying, yeah, I'm happy. I'd rather start the season and get the players that we want than scram and get the players we don't want and buy players that we have to sell again in a year's time. He'd rather take time, and if he has to start the season right now with the 2 quality players he's brought in, so be it. But let's not rush, which is I've said many, many times, let's not rush and just get this player and get that player just to fill in the gaps. Let's take our time and get very specific players that we know will deliver. So he's gone on to say there, we need to be really careful when we sign players. If we start the season with this squad, I'm happy. Yeah. So let's see what the chat is saying quickly. British Bulldog, yeah, read that. Turkish said, no, British Bulldog. You know what, Wiz? You didn't say the club needs to do better to sell players by not bashing them in the media. Yeah, I said that. I've said one of the things that we need to do as a football club is not destroy our players. Whether it's Sancho, whether you like him or not, whoever it is, let's not go around saying our players are worthless and all these things. Chelsea don't do that. No other club does this. Let's talk up our players that we want to sell. Let's not tell the world that here's a piece of crap that I don't like, but I want £100 million for it. Let's not do that because that doesn't make any sense. Nobody will ever tell you that's the right tactic to do if you want to sell anything. You just don't do it. And that's what we have done. So It's very interesting. It's good in a way to hear from the manager because we need to hear from the manager. He's the face. Unfortunately, he's the face of the club. The buck starts and stops with him. We need to know where his mind is at, where his vision is, where he sees the squad currently, where he wants the squad to be in the future. So I've been waiting for this press conference. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't fully impressed with some of his answers. Like I said, some of these answers scared me. I want to know what you guys thought of the press conference in the chat. But it's good. It's good to hear from the manager. Let's check the chat again quickly. Milton says, Luke Shaw, think that guy's time has come and gone. He struggled to get back into the England squad in previous years. I agree, Milton. 10 years at the club. He's in his 30s now. I don't see a place for Luke Shaw in this squad anymore. I think we need to move him on. British Bulldog, agrees with Milton. To be fair, Luke Shaw's problems go way back to the time when Mourinho said he wasn't fit, which is a long time ago. By the way, what's the timetable on this USA tour? It's the first game, maybe. Yeah, Milton, the first game is technically Saturday midnight. So tomorrow at midnight, I think, is the kickoff of the West Ham game. And I will be doing a watch along on this channel. So you have to be here tomorrow midnight for the watch along, people. Milton also says Chelsea even do the opposite, like their fans waxing lyrical about Jackson. Milton, you took the words out of my mouth. The amount of praise, the amount of propaganda I see from Chelsea fans regarding Nicholas Jackson is crazy. Man United fan base, the fans, the way too toxic, way too tribal. The fans that go to the matches, a lot of them, not most of them, and not all of them, but a lot of them are xenophobic. A lot of them have agendas against certain players who look a certain way. The Man United fan base, for some reason, during these last 7, 8, 9 years, can't come together and agree on anything, on who our best player is, on who the good players are, who the worst players are. There is divides and sectors within the fan base. We can't unite. We should be united and be, like you said, like the Chelsea fans do, prop up the players that we want to sell, but we can't even do that because there's so much hatred for the likes of Sancho, you know, and for some reason Rashford, and even Garnacho. It's insane. It's insane. But we move, guys. We move. Anyway, let's keep going. The news will not stop. Let's see what Ben Jacobs has said with regards to Isak, people. Ben Jacobs on Isak, he said, Alexander Isak wants Champions League football and there's no point trying on a lost cause. Isak to Manchester United would be highly unlikely. I'm not aware of Isak being on Manchester United's radar. To be honest, I don't believe that any of us need Ben Jacobs to tell us that. I don't think anyone in the chat believed Isak was coming to Manchester United, even though we hoped and even though I said there might be a chance. Please, Man United, go for him. But Ben Jacobs has just said, what is the point? What is the point of going for a player that you know you will never get and only wants Champions League football? Additionally, Fabrizio Romano has come out and said Alexander Isak wants Liverpool. It's his priority as reported. This is not good, guys. This is not good. What Liverpool want to do is dominate the Premier League. Like Man City have dominated the Premier League over the last 7, 8 years. They've won it about 5 times out of the last 7, 8 seasons. Domination. What Liverpool want to do right now is that they want to dominate the league for the next 3, 4, 5 years. If they get this signing over the line, because Man City are not there. Man City don't even have the defence. Man City's defensive structure is not great. Arsenal, we don't know what Arsenal are going to do with Gyökeres. Chelsea, untested. Liverpool are tested and tried, and they're bringing in the top striker in the league, along with Wirtz. This is scary stuff, guys. It is. Yes, we're not in the same, let's say we're not in the same league as Liverpool right now. We're building. And some of you will say, you know, we should be looking at Burnley and Everton and all these sort of clubs. But it doesn't matter because Liverpool are our #1 rivals. Even though I hate Arsenal more than I hate Liverpool, I know as a Man United fan, it's Liverpool. It's Liverpool and always will be Liverpool. They're the team we need to fight and punch up. and they're level on points. I think they're level with us in terms of league titles. In the next 2 or 3 years, they'll go past us, and there will be factually, according to trophies. I mean, they might already be. They might actually already be. But if they keep winning next 2, 3 years, they will be factually the most successful team in English history. And there's nothing we can do about it apart from sit here and watch while they buy up the best players and do this. Do this. So I don't know how you guys are feeling about this. It's very frustrating to understand or to know that Manchester United right now are nowhere near this signing. Any time in history, if the top strikers, whether your name is Harry Kane, Robin Van Persie or Wayne Rooney, if the top strikers are up for grabs in the Premier League, Man United are usually there in for a shout. We are nowhere near this deal because of how far we've fallen, guys. Nowhere near. Sad day. It's a sad day. But let's stay in our own lane, worry about ourselves, and try to get into the top 10, hey? Hey? You know, don't look at the rich man over there who's got £100 million while all you're doing is sitting here with your £2 and eating some corn. Worry about the corn that you're eating and try to get some more corn. You know? Maybe stay in our lane. I don't know, guys. What's Milton saying? What's the chat saying quickly? British Bulldog, Mateta incoming, or I'm not happy. British Bulldog, I'm not happy. Turkish is saying, I need you to get Mateta for BB. It needs to happen. British Bulldog, I want to make you happy, but I can't see Mateta, bro. I can't see Mateta, unfortunately. We already got Mantanto. We don't need Mateta. Milton says Man United versus West Ham this weekend. Better test maybe for United squad. Yep, I agree, Milton. Chatting. Offer him a week. Man United number 9, long contract. We're still Man United. Very, very. That was corny. Listen, I think if we throw the Queen's jewels at him, I don't think he'll come. But anyway, let's move on, people. It's going to be a quick show today, packed but very quick. Sky Sports. So, Sky Sports are reporting, and this is from the Daily Mail one, which is a problem because the Mail is not. I don't like when other reporters report on other reporters. Like, you're the source of the source of the source. So, Sky Sports are reporting, apparently from the Daily Mail, that Luke Shaw could leave Manchester United. So it's quite interesting that I was told about this, and I heard about this before the manager's interview press conference when he said Luke Shaw's a world-class player and we like him, but he's got competition. So I don't know. Let's keep an eye on the Luke. I'll keep an eye on the Luke Shaw situation for the next week. Let's see what people are saying. Let's see what the response is. Luke Shaw leaving. Oh my God. Shorty, please. Look at everyone dancing. Oh my gosh. He sat to Liverpool, Shaw to Ipswich. So it seems like most people agree with you guys in the chat and me that Luke Shaw's time is up at the club. He needs to leave. But let's pay attention. Let's keep an eye on this situation with Luke Shaw. Very quickly, we will find out who is telling the truth here. Is he up for sale and the manager is just trying to be nice? Or are we going to see Luke Shaw start at left centre back in the first game against Arsenal? And if we are, my Lord, my God, I am going to lose every lock on my head. Every one of them. Anyway, let's see what the chat is saying quickly before we move on. That was true about Liverpool. FSG are back in the club and manager with top players in and even going for more before Nunes or Diaz are sold. Yep, I agree, Milton. Look again then. What do you mean, British Bulldog? Hurry up. You think he was saying something to do with what you were saying at the time? Those two guys on Sky Sports don't early. All right, cool. Milton is not buying it. Milton is not buying it at all. Fair enough. Let's go quickly. This is the goalkeeper that we have been hearing about the last week or so. And it is getting closer and closer. Look for Mateta. As in Mateta news. British Bulldog, are you saying you said you... Oh. Are you saying there's news on Mateta, bro? Or just in general? Are you bantering? Oh, right, you know, okay, I get. I've been slow today, bro. Today's a slow day, but yeah, just a reminder, news update that Man United are now in direct talks with Royal Antwerp. So we actually have moved our position. We went from, speaking to the player and understanding that the player wants to come. Now Man United are in direct talks with the club. Things are moving with this goalkeeper. The 23-year-old goalkeeper is in favour of a move to Old Trafford, so we know he wants to come and is viewed internally as a long-term candidate for the number one goalkeeper spot, which means we're not bringing him to just be number one straight away. He could be. We probably want him to, but potentially compete with Andre Onana for the number one spot. So, speaking of Onana, this segues us perfectly to this news. Andre Onana has recovered from his hamstring injury and back in training. So, sad news for some of you guys in the chat, for some Man United fans. I understand. I get it. I'm not the greatest fan of Onana. I did like Onana when he first... I still, as a human being, I've got no issues with him as a human. But he's just not good enough goalkeeper. I don't want to go into any more than say I don't think he is a good enough goalkeeper and we need a new one. This is really that simple. So he's back though. So we'll see what happens with Onana. We hear mixed messages. Onana's leaving, Onana's not leaving. Onana's leaving, Onana's not leaving. We'll just keep an eye on that situation on this channel and see where it develops. Here are some stats to compare Onana and Lamens. I'm not quite sure if you guys can see this very clearly. Green is Onana and orange is Lamens. And it shows, what they're good at. So as you can see, in almost every metric there, short, long saves, passes, interceptions, aerial duels won, or aerials won. So it's quite close in a lot of the metrics, but when it comes to saves, which is probably the most important one, the one that, you're a goalkeeper, so you're supposed to make saves. Lamens is clearly, according to these stats, better. And most of you guys, I don't think you guys needed to see these stats. I think a lot of you would have dragged this goalkeeper Lamens to Manchester United and put him in the number one goalkeeper jersey without having to see these stats, because I think most of you guys have had enough of Onana, right? But some stats to, I guess, justify the purchase of this player. Decent. Anyway, British Bulldog says he will take him up front. Anyway, banter, yeah. Like my United transfer team is slow. I used to sing Onana my keeper, Onana my keeper. You know what? I as a Man United fan, even though Onana's not good enough, of course I want him to have a good season. I want him to have a good season this season. If he's staying, please Onana, no donkey stuff, please. Now I sing that with emotional voice. Milton says, "Oh my God, remember those friendly charity games when Usain Bolt played for United, bro?" I remember those. Everyone expecting Usain Bolt, yeah, to just blow past everybody. People are forgetting that. Listen, dribbling with the ball, yeah, at speed is not easy. Like, yes, he can run past people without the ball, but with the ball, it's different. I remember these matches, Milton. I remember these matches. British Bulldog says, I'll take him up front. Eddie Blacks, welcome, bro. Welcome to the chat, Eddie. Hope you're doing well. Being that Le Mans stats are in the Belgium league, can you really take those stats seriously? Good point, Eddie. Good point, Eddie. We have to take into context, as Eddie said, that this guy is coming from a different league, a league that he probably faces less shots, maybe less difficult shots. The league is not the same as the Premier League, so we have to take that into consideration. Like, strikers in the Premier League, they're not giving you a second to plant your feet. They're not allowing the goalkeeper to get set. They are taking shots while you're off balance and all these things. So he will be tested differently in the Premier League. So, Eddie, I agree with you. Good point. Good point, bro. Aston Villa, according to Fabrizio Romano, have rejected an approach from Man United for Dibu Martinez on a loan deal. Man United still decided internally with experienced goalkeeper and a young goalkeeper as options. Le Mans from Royal Antwerp remains one of the main names. So this is just confirming what we already know. Everyone now knows that this Le Mans goalkeeper is someone that we are not just looking at, we have started having conversations about. This is serious. We are in for this goalkeeper. No doubts about it. I don't know if I believe that we went in for a loan move for Emi Martinez. I don't know if we offered or made an offer. Maybe we asked a question. Maybe we asked a question and Aston Villa said no. But we made an offer. When he says Aston Villa have rejected an approach. So it's like, how can you reject an approach? Because all I've done is approach you and ask you a question. You give me an answer, then I go away. You don't reject that. Don't approach me. Don't even approach me. Yeah, but I just want to ask a question. No. Don't ask me a question. Don't approach me. I reject your approach. That doesn't make sense to me. But semantics. I guess it doesn't matter. I don't think we're going to get Martinez. I didn't really want Martinez because of the price tag, people, and because even though he's better than Onana, I still think he has bozo moments. He has moments, just like when he got sent off against us in the last game. He has moments like that. And that's one of the reasons why I wasn't too interested in this Martinez. I probably want more of a younger goalkeeper. I kept saying, listen, take your time, Manchester United, and buy the goalkeeper for the future. Buy the young goalkeeper for the future. So, we saw this quote, but we can talk about this quote. Apparently, another quote from the press conference, people. Let's quickly put this up on screen for you, beautiful people. Ruben Amorim on Sancho, Anthony, and Garnacho. If they reach a point where they have to join the team, they will join the team because they are our players. If the club doesn't get the right price, they will stay. I'm ready to receive the players. There's nobody that convinced me that he means this. You know, when I said that, how much should we take on face? Listen, I will take what he says on face value if it materializes onto the field. If it happens, then I'll be like, yeah, he meant that shit. When things materialize on the pitch, then I'll be like, yeah, he meant that. At the moment, according to how we are behaving as a club, according to how we're treating these players, I don't know if he really wants these players, especially Garnacho, especially after what he said to Garnacho, people. He's really ready to integrate them. No, I don't actually believe that. This, once again, Milton, apologies, bro, has said, and we all agree that press conferences aren't just about telling the truth. They're about positioning yourself. Where are we now going to position these players? We haven't really had a chance to speak directly to people from our mouths. Everything we've heard about Manchester United have come from journalists. Everything. This is the first time now somebody official at Manchester United is sitting there and saying things. So he has to say, if we don't get the right money for these players, they're going to chill here, which is contrary to how we're actually acting. We are behaving like, listen, give us a grain of salt for Sancho, I will drive him to you. That's how we're acting. While at the same time, this manager is saying, listen, if you don't give us the money for him, he's staying. So think of that what you will, guys. Something to try to understand going forward how the manager wants to use these press conferences, how much truth are in his words. You know, only time will tell, people. Before we move on, let's quickly see what the chat is saying. Milton says, different league, but the Belgians are generally very good. That's regarding to the goalkeeper. True, United must have made approach or inquiries on availability. Amorim is ready to receive players back. Goodness. Yeah, Milton, I don't want to believe that, so I'm choosing not to. You know when you just choose not to believe something and you just pick and choose. I'm picking what we are going to suffer, but that feeling of bonding is really important. The spirit is positive. This guy talks about suffering too much, you know. He's proper religious. You know, the Christians, when they say about suffering and God and all these things, we don't want to suffer anymore. Stop. No more suffer talk. Stop talking about suffering. Flipping heck. Eddie says he kind of has to say that to help them get sold. Yeah. Stop this. I told you at the beginning of this stream, we got to stop trying to destroy the players. Sometimes do what Chelsea do, as Milton says, and say these players are not. Come out and say the players are not for sale. How about that? Or their price might double if you say they're not for sale. Say they're an important part of your team. Say they're the first name on the team sheet. Lie, you know. I think I have sussed it out. Each manager we get quickly realizes they got no chance because the club is a joke. So they say weird stuff or weird decisions to get sacked for full pay. British Bulldog, man. All right. What's next, people? What's next on the news agenda? Let's go. Mason Mount has spoken. Lord Mason has spoken. He never speaks, and I feel like he doesn't speak because he doesn't want to remind people that he doesn't play football. You know when you don't play football and you're just there to pick up checks. So shut your mouth, be quiet, be on notice, be there in the background. Don't draw attention to yourself. You know, like a Luke Shaw. That's what Mason Mount does. But he's spoken. Anyway, Mason Mount says, this is from Simon Stone, it took some time to get over Europa. Why are we even hearing from Mason Mount? There's 11 players. We could hear from any one of these players. But anyway, let's keep reading because he's British. That's why we're hearing from him. If you're injured and you're British, like Mason Mount or Luke Shaw, you get a bly. If you're injured and you're foreign, like Martial, you get destroyed and you get abused. That's very, very clear. There's no argument about that. The xenophobia in our fan base is disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. And for me, as a black man, it is clear to see. Very, very clear to see. And that's why I say there's a difference between some of the match-going fans up north that have a certain mentality. Not all of them, just some of them. And the rest of us who just want to see good football and good players. Anyway, Mason Mount says it took some time to get over Man United's Europa League final defeat by Tottenham this summer. For sure. Because as a player, you're just thinking about the little things in the game. I started the game, so it was like, what could I have done in that situation? Or could I have made in the past better? I think you don't look too much into it because you would drive yourself crazy. Look into loads of detail, but it hurts and the whole season hurt. That is some jargon, gobbledygook that I've never had before. It's coherent, but not the most coherent thing that Mason Mount has said. I don't understand why we have to listen and think about how sad he was losing. I mean, everyone was sad. Everyone was unhappy. Why do we need to feel for Mason Mount? I always have to consider when I see stuff like that, tweets like this, information put out by journalists like this, I have to think, guys, what's the purpose of it? What's it meant for? what are you trying to achieve with this sort of, what are you trying to achieve? That's how I think. So rehabilitation of Mason Mount's image. He cares. Oh, at least Mason Mount cares. Oh, at least Mason Mount is sorry. Oh, Mason Mount is. Is that what's happening here? And if that's what's happening here, I don't want to hear it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being PR'd. You know. And then what scares me is the fact that he starts off like he really cares and he's thinking about it, while at the same time he says, I think you don't look too much into it. So he's kind of forgotten about it and he's moved on. So this whole thing is weird. The whole thing is weird. Mason Mount is another player that 250 grand a week he's getting. He doesn't play football and nobody wants him out. Nobody wants him out. He's never fit. He gets paid as much as Jadon. He hasn't contributed anywhere near as much as Jadon has. Jadon's only played 2 seasons at this club and he's been on loan for the other 2 seasons. Yet he gets crucified. He wasn't here when we finished 15th. He hasn't been here, Jadon, yeah, when we've been crap. The last time Jadon Sancho played for Man United, we finished 3rd. Yet Mason Mount, who gets paid just as much as him, plays 2 games a season. Nobody talks about this guy and how we need to get him out. And I'm tired of it. Tired. So on this channel, I'm going to call this shit out when I see it. When I see it. So Mason Mount quotes, I don't want to hear him. Really. Really. But it is what it is. Let's quickly see what the chat is saying before we move on. Is Mason Mount still there? I'm sure United have played a few carrying injury like Pogba and others. Yeah, Milton. It's not, the fan base don't have the same sympathy or empathy when it comes to certain players, but that comes from something deep within them. Anyway, guys, quickly, we are coming towards the end of the show. League 2 side Troyes, I hope that's how you pronounce it, will receive around 9 million euros from Brian Mbeumo's transfer to Manchester United. They will get 7.4 million from capital gains, very interesting actually, plus 2 million in training compensation. If this is true, and I've got no reason why it isn't true, this might be the reason why Brentford wanted to hold out for a certain fee, because they knew that a certain percentage of the fee would have to go back to his first club. So just a bit of context to the Brian Mbeumo deal that maybe some people haven't told you, maybe you might not be aware of, but now you are. You are aware that some of the fee will go to the club that he was at before. Whether that changes your view on the deal in any way, that's up to you to decide, people. But just a bit more context for the Man United fans with regards to this deal. Let's see the chat one more time. Justice Gabriel, big up yourself, Justice Gabriel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. Hope you feel good and comfortable here. Let me see what you are saying. You're coming in saying that we need a CDM and a goalkeeper. Have no fear, Justice. I think I read the first message, second one, the third one, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth, and they all say the same thing. I have seen it. So, goalkeeper, we look like we will definitely get. The CDM, that midfielder, that will depend on what happens during the window, I believe. This is absolutely insane to me. This on your screen, people. This is crazy. While we trying to sell certain players and get money, Burnley are offering us £30 million for Harry Maguire, and we said no. Apparently. And this is coming from David Ornstein, who is reputable. So there's no reason why, at the moment, I'm going to think this is a lie. If this is true, this is crazy. This is crazy. I remember about 2 seasons ago, you wanted to sell this guy because he's slow. And we can't play with a high line with Harry Maguire. Nothing's changed. He hasn't got quicker. He hasn't got more mobile. The only thing that's changed is that he is now playing in his favoured back three rather than a back two. When he played in that back two with Casemiro and Eriksen in front of him, he looked all right. Right? Sometimes. But that's not his thing. That's not his position. Especially when we play with a high line. We have seen this guy get skinned. We've seen him fall on his face. We've seen him look foolish. We've seen him make more mistakes in one season than Onana. And we wanted him out. He hasn't gained any pace. He hasn't gained any mobility. In fact, he's got slower and even less mobile. But because he's in a back three, he gets that defensive cover. He doesn't look as bad. He gets to step out and play his cross-field passes that Harry Maguire likes to make, which is fine. But I am not confused, guys. His limitations are still there, even though the system covers them. And to be honest, that's the purpose of a system. A system is supposed to cover players' deficiencies and highlight their strengths. That's what a system does. And this system, back three, as I've said again, it works perfectly for Maguire. But don't be confused, guys. He's still the same player that we wanted to sell 2-3 years ago. But that being said, we must also acknowledge that in some clutch moments, Maguire has turned up. Maguire has scored goals. He's done things in clutch moments. He has. So we have to add context and be like, do you know what? He's had some good games this season. So I would have taken this money for Maguire, personally. But it is what it is. Quickly, let's see the chat. We have 2 old men in CDM, 31 and 33. Justice, I believe you, and I believe that the midfield area will cost us again this season. I really, really desperately, bro, want us to get a midfielder. I really, really need us to, but I don't know. I hope we do. Fingers crossed, bro. Eddie says this Maguire thing is a joke. This can't be real. Bro, Eddie, I'm going out in a minute, so I'm not going to get vexed and I'm not going to get angry. But on a normal day, some of the stuff that I'm reporting to you guys, yeah, I'm going to be real with you lot. Some of the stuff I'm reporting to you guys would have got me mad. It would have got me mad. But today, I'm like, do you know what? God is good. All the time, God is good. Breathe. And just chill out. And just report on the news and not get emotional. Yeah. So that's what I'm on right now. But this is messed up, bro. 30 million pounds. What's that? 40 million euros. 38 million euros or something. And then what? We could just easily get a midfielder with the same money. Are you on crack? This is crazy. And the fact that he says they view Burnley as a rival. Oh, they view Burnley as a rival. Give me a break. Give me a break. Bro, Eddie, we could have used that 30 million for anything. It doesn't even matter where. Just, or what. Just get it done. Flipping heck. Anyway, guys. What's on the agenda next? Any more news to report to the people? Just a quick one for you guys. Bayern Munich have inquired about signing Garnacho, but the Manchester United winger prefers to stay in the Premier League. This is Rob Dawson from the ESPN. So it's the reason why I'm a bit annoyed here because we lie and we put out contradictory things, because we're gonna sell him to the Premier League, probably to a rival. Let's acknowledge this before we move on. We are probably going to sell Garnacho to Aston Villa, to Newcastle, to one of our rivals. Fine. We rejected 30 million for Maguire because we don't want to sell him to our rival. I cannot stand the way Man United treat you guys. Not me, because I can see that they're fucking idiots and they're liars. And I call it out all the time. But all of this stuff, all of this, we don't need the money, we can't, then we do need the money, we got to sell, then all of this mixed messages and these, no, leave me out, bro. Leave me out. So this is interesting. I said before, him wanting to stay in the Premier League, I think he sees himself as a franchise for the player. The marketing and all of this stuff, he's already seen himself as some big global icon. He wants to stay in the Premier League because the Premier League is a place to be for that. He wants to copy CR7. He wears CR7 boxers. He has shortened the amount of teams that can buy him. He's put Man United in a position where we can only listen to certain clubs because he only wants the Premier League. It's not good. It's not good. He's narrowed his options, this player. So we will keep an eye on this Garnacho situation. But I just feel like it's very, very interesting. Let's quickly look at the chat before we move on. I don't know how mobile Maguire is. Bro, Milton, he's less mobile now. He ain't gained mobility. So I don't know what we're doing. We're trying to keep 31, 32-year-old defenders. Like, come on, Man United. Mixed messaging. Maguire is a Freemason too. He's got to be. Been hanging on for too long. Bro, Eddie, I believe you, bro. I believe you. Milton said I got to chill. I'm chill, Milton. I'm chilled now. I had a moment, but I'm back. I'm back, Milton. Justin Gabriel says Andre Nana is just a joke to United. Milton says, oh my God, Burnley will go down probably. Yeah, after signing Maguire probably. United are all joking with the window. Justice Gabriel is not happy with the window at all. Eddie says spin, spin, spin. Even Onstein is part of it. Yeah. These journalists get briefed by the club to say certain things. We know this. All right. More news. 2 of the Saudi Arabian Premier League's top clubs are understood to be interested in signing Anthony from Manchester United. That's great. That's good news. But we've been hearing for the past month that Betis are interested and Betis want him and Betis are playing games, guys. Betis are playing games. Then we get told that Atletico Madrid are interested. But Anthony only wants Betis. Anthony only wants Betis. And I think Betis, just like, Man United with Mbumo, right? Betis are aware that Anthony only wants them. And that's why they're taking the piss. And they're going to do a last minute, I know this, I can feel it, a last minute £20 thing. Here's £20. That's what they're going to try to do with Anthony. He's not going to Saudi. If he wants to go to the World Cup, yeah, I don't think he's going to Saudi. Not yet. Not at the age. He's only 23, 24, Anthony. He's not old. I can't see him going to Saudi. If he goes Saudi, they'll pay good money for him. £40 million, maybe. Which is good for us, but I just can't see it happening. If it happens, good. Good for Man United. Let's take the money. But I don't believe this really, guys. I don't believe there's anything in this. They can be interested all they like, but I don't know. But we will see. Once again, we'll keep an eye on this story, people. Let me know in the chat how you're feeling, what you're thinking about this the Anthony situation in general. Who do you think out of the 4 players still left, the 4 ostracized players, who do you think is going to remain at the club? Who do you think is still going to be here by the 2nd of September? Let me know, people. Let me know who you think. Do you think all of them will go? Anyway, Malasia. This is not on Twitter. Not everything I get is off Twitter. I have to look at the whole internet for Manchester United news. This is a story from Holland. And it says, Malasia could swap Man United for Saudi top club. Taro Malasia, only 25, could leave Manchester United. The left back is considering a concrete offer from Saudi Arabia, according to well-informed sources. Good news. I have been told and I have seen that the fee, if anything happens, is touted to be around 15 million, which is good news for us. Unlucky for Tyrell Malacia, his injuries, his knee injury took him out for a whole year. A lot of people said he came, and once again, he's just like Tellez before him and others. He came to displace Luke Shaw. He displaced Luke Shaw for about 6 months, and then Luke Shaw came back and said, I'm ready to play football now. Luke Shaw had about 2 games, and then we didn't see Tyrell Malacia again. He got injured, I think, a long-time injury, and after coming back, you can tell he lost a bit of pace. He wasn't the same player. He's still a decent footballer, Tyrell Malacia, but I think it's time for him to leave, unfortunately. So if it is to Saudi Arabia and we can get some good money for him, good. Put that in the transfer box, in the transfer kitty, and use that to fund other transfers. So let's go. Milton says Anthony, possible. He said Anthony might be one of the ones that stay at the club if we do not get a good offer in. Turkish says Betis can only afford a loan and United aren't looking for a loan. They need to sell. Justice says Sancho can stay and work in the system. Justice, Gabriel, that is a very, very unpopular opinion. But I've always said this. The reason why Jadon Sancho is not at the club is nothing to do with his talent. It's him falling out with Ten Hag. People want to rewrite history and be like he's rubbish and all these things. He fell out with Ten Hag because he stood up for himself when Ten Hag made the Arsenal loss about Jadon Sancho. He used him as a scapegoat. Jadon went out and tweeted, "Don't use me as a scapegoat." And then from that moment, everything fell down. Ten Hag never wanted Jadon. He wanted Anthony. He brought in Anthony to replace Jadon Sancho. Jadon was angry and upset that he went from being almost a franchise guy to now you're signing Anthony for £80 million to replace me. When I understand Jadon's frustration. That's why I've never there's no reason for me to hate Jadon. I think he needs to leave, personally. I think he needs to find a new club. I think Man United need to turn a corner and close the book on him. But it's because of the circumstances and how toxic it is. I don't think there's any way back for him. Not because I don't rate him as a footballer. I think everybody rates him. Jadon Sancho is one of those players where every time we talk about him being sold or something, there's a list of clubs in for him. There's a list of clubs in for him. And the only reason why he hasn't been sold yet is because of his wages. That's it. Otherwise, someone would have snapped him up. Because other clubs know that he can ball. I always tell people, listen, the last time he played for the club, we finished third. Last 2 seasons where we finished 15th and when we were crap, he wasn't here. Yet he is, that stink, yeah, that should be on all the players that finished 15th. We have, once again, got angry at Jadon and used him as a scapegoat. Even now, even though our anger should be at the players who finished 15th, at the manager who finished 15th, our anger shouldn't be at Rashford or any of the players that were not here. It shouldn't be. But unfortunately, misguided anger is a thing. Anyway, let's keep it moving. So let's have a quick roundup of all the other news that's around the place, people, before we wrap up. Bayern Munich have submitted their new offer to Liverpool for Luis Diaz, worth more than 67 million euros. Talks between the clubs are ongoing. As reported, Diaz wants to join Bayern and is waiting for an agreement between the clubs. He can sign a contract running at least until 2029. The deal could still fall through. This is good for Liverpool. Liverpool do want to sell him. They've got now Ekitike now, and they want to sell him. This will finance the Isak deal. Liverpool's still going to sell him for about 70 million euros. They're going to sell Darwin Núñez for about 50 million euros. They are, I think, going to sell about 1 or 2 more players. They can sell players and fund that Isak deal very, very well and very, very easily. That's unfortunate for us. We're going to have to sit, as Man United fans, we're going to have to sit and watch Liverpool do amazing things. And only hope that the players don't gel. The players take a long time to get used to the manager's system, because one of the reasons why Arnie was so successful last year, unlike our manager, he decided to come into Liverpool and not change anything. He went, oh, this is Klopp's system, and you guys all like the system, and okay, I ain't gonna change shit. Just gonna add a few players here or there, tweak it. Bob's your uncle. Win the league. Now that he's bringing in 2 or 3 starters, 3 or 4 starters into this team, I just hope that they take time to gel, take time to get used to a new way of football, new way of thinking, new way of playing, and therefore it doesn't work. That's my only hope. Quickly, let's see the chat. Yes or no, because Anthony can play football. Justice Gabriel says. Milton says, you know, a listed PLC like United can always borrow funds at whatever interest level. There's usually a way if they want to. I agree, Milton. That's why I said if there was a way to do something and get funds for Isak, do it. Do it. Don't allow Liverpool to have a free run at Isak. Yeah, selling Diaz and Nunes is part of Liverpool plans, says Milton in the chat. I agree, Milton. Anyway, another roundup quickly, guys. More on Victor Gyökeres move to Arsenal. Package is 63.5 million euros fixed and 10 million euros in add-ons, which is what they wanted. They said nothing less than 60 million euros, and they preferably wanted 70, closer to 80 million. And they've got somewhere in between. The total package is around 73.5 million euros. There's also a breakdown of the add-ons and the structure there for you guys to see if you are interested. So there on screen, you can see how the add-ons are broken down. So yeah, just confirmation again on Gyökeres. People, comment below. Send something in the chat if you want to talk more about Gyökeres or not. And to finish, to wrap up, something positive, people, something nice. Let's wrap up on a positive. Yeah? Man United and Ruben Amorim, now this is in the morning, see Joshua Zirkzee as a key figure for next season. Beautiful news. That is music to my ears. They're backing him to make a significant impact, especially being paired with creative midfielders with proven Premier League expertise. He is expected to play a lot of minutes next season. That is music to my blood clot, bumper clot, ras clot, pussy. No, I'm thinking my ears aren't pussy clot ears. But that's music to my ears. A music to my ears. Jano, good, because I rate Zirkzee. I get it. He's not very, very quick. He's not going to run in behind and stretch the defense the way Amorim wants. I get that. And he's not the most clinical striker either. Those things I understand. I do, people. But as a footballer, dropping deep, bringing others into play, if Mbeumo and Cunha are running the other way, they're going to get goals playing with Zirkzee. They are, so this is good. Listen, last season I saw this manager play Højlund game after game after game. Hopefully, he's learnt from his mistake and we won't see that this season, people. Anyway, another positive news to end with Amorim on Manu. Last year, he played higher up the pitch, but he can play as a number 6 and a number 8. The closer he is to the ball, the better. I have big plans for him. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I've said many times that this footballer, just watch him. Just watch him play football. He's not somebody he's going to spray. He's not Carrick. He's not going to spray 40-yard passes, 30-yard passes around. He wants the ball at his feet. He wants the ball under his feet. He plays futsal. He wants to drag the ball back, roll it under his feet. He wants to play between the lines. He wants to give and go. He wants the little small 5-10-yard passes. Like a Tom Cleverley. He wants to be able to drop a shoulder. He is that kind of player. He's the link between the DM and the AM. In the midfield three, you'll have the DM, you have the AM, and you have Kobe Mainu. Maybe the link between the two. He's good in the midfield three, Kobe. I don't know how well he is in a midfield two in this system where in that two, you have to run up and down. You have to be a monster. He doesn't seem like he's that kind of player. He could develop into that kind of player, but at the moment, he is not. He's not. So let's keep it moving. I think that's, if you guys are interested in the full quote, here's a full quote. I think he can play in both positions in the midfield. Last year, he played more in the front. I think his perfect position is more near the ball, always with the ball. So his best position is near the ball. You can be near the ball and still play up front. You can be near the ball and play in DM. What do you mean his position is near the ball? That's not actually a position. There's no near the ball position. That's quite an interesting thing to say from Amorim. I think he's a big talent, and you guys know better than me that he's a big talent. I think he needs to increase the rhythm, the pace. There you go. That's important. He needs to increase the rhythm and the pace. He's a very chilled, sort of slick guy. He's not someone he's going to run around. As I keep saying, hustle and bustle in that mid. That's not him. I don't think it'll ever be him. It could be, but it's not him. So I'm always on top of that with Kobe because he's so good, but sometimes he can be better. He's not, he needs to show more aggression in the way he plays football. Get stuck in the tackles a bit more. He needs to do that if he wants to play in that double pivot. So I've said it just now. It's interesting to know that the manager also sees it and thinks the same way as I do. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's most of the news. I've condensed the news, I think, in a good way. You know, if I can say so myself. That's a lot of stuff we spoke about. I spoke about, well, most of it was Amorim's quotes for tomorrow's match, but we also went through some Ben Jacobs stuff, guys. Some Fabrizio Romano quotes as well. Luke Shaw conversations, Maguire conversations, spoke about the goalkeeper situation, Garnacho, Mason Mount quotes. So I think we've covered a lot of things. I think we can leave this session with more knowledge now. We've heard the manager speak today, so we kind of hopefully get an idea of where we are and where we could be, where we're kind of going after listening to the manager. So decent day of news. A lot of things we went through today. The chat has been, as usual, amazing. Big up the chat. Justice Gabriel says Cunha, Zexi, and Bumo, should I say his name properly, Ahmad will help us. I agree, Justice. I can't wait, and I'm pretty sure you guys can't wait to see Cunha and Mbumo start together. Listen, they haven't only been training for like 2 or 3 days, so don't expect miracles. But I want them to develop some sort of relationship. Who drops deep, who runs beyond, who overlaps. I just want to see a relationship formed between those players and Xerxes, if possible. Justice says, I love Ruben and I think he will work this season. I don't love Ruben. I don't do that anymore. I don't put my emotion into these managers anymore. I don't feel anything for these guys. For me to love you, any of these managers, they have to do something. They have to win things. They have to show me something. At the moment, Ruben's not really shown me too much. We finished 15th. So I've left it open to love him. I could love him, but he has to earn that from me. He has to earn all of that from me, Justice. I can't just say I love this guy. He has to work. I remember when he first came to the club and the people in the stadium, the fans were chanting his name, were singing his name. And I remember one of the journalists asked him if he likes it, likes the fact that people were already singing his name and making songs. And he said, no, he doesn't like it. He said it's embarrassing. He says, I've only been here for a minute. I haven't done anything, haven't achieved anything, haven't proven anything. And already these guys are up my ass worshipping me. I can't do that. I don't like worshipping people. I don't worship people. This manager needs to do some things, yeah, for me to love him. And at the moment, he hasn't done enough for me to sow myself to him like some religious idol, bro. Anyway, it's been lovely. It's been lovely. It's probably a good thing for Amorim to communicate more. Are you sure, Milton? Some people said he spoke too much last season. Some people said they wanted him to speak less, because the more he spoke, the more he kind of frustrated people. So, and he did so many interviews. In his first 3 months, he did about 20 interviews. I was like, poor fella. Poor fella. The English media are going to destroy you. They're going to destroy you. At one point last season, Amorim, I said this, Amorim's lost so much hair already. His hair's all dark, jet black. By flipping May, you saw the greys. You saw the greys. So, big up yourself, people. Big up the chat. It's been a good, quick, smooth session. Some decent news to mull over the weekend. Don't forget Isak is going to Liverpool. So don't cry yourself to sleep tonight, people. Thinking about that. Think positively. Think about the fact that we're going to watch Man United tomorrow and see Cunha and Mbeumo. How about that? Positive. There you go, people. Big up yourself. Like the video as usual. Subscribe. Share it with your friend. Let's get these subscribers up. Roll to 1,000 subscribers, hopefully by the end of the year. That is a target, people. We can do it. We can achieve it. This is a good channel. We do some good stuff here. We have some good conversations, some good insights, some good ball knowledge here. So let's big up yourselves. As always, the whole chat from Milton to Justice to British Bulldog, Eddie. As always, guys, it's been beautiful, amazing.